everyone, Christy Arnett here for Card Player TV, and I'm with Jonathan Little, two-time World Poker Tour champion, to talk about the final table of the WPT $15,000 buy-in 5-Diamond World Poker Classic. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Alright, so in seat 1, we've got Chino Ream. He's fresh off of his final table of the main event, and he's got 4.2 million in chips. What do you know about Chino?
I don't know too much about Chino. I know he's a pretty well-respected player. I know he got really unlucky at the World Series to bust out kind of early, or early into the final table.
Is there something to be said about having momentum and having maybe a big score and then playing another event and doing well because of confidence?
Confidence is very big. I know that all of my personal scores have been a few in a row. And especially after you've done something really great, you are really confident and play strong and are confident in your reads. Like, for example, the Dimidov guy, he did really well at a few World Series events back to back, and
Definitely.
It happens over and over. So I think that if Chino stays focused and doesn't get too overconfident, he can definitely do really well.
Awesome. Well, we caught up with Chino just after they reached the final 6 players, and here's what he had to say. All right, Chino, tell me about play down to the final 6. I've been reading the updates. Yesterday you were calling floating down with ace high. Are you just playing the best game of your life, or what's going on?
I mean, I'm playing some good poker. Yeah, it's just funny. The World Series final table, it changed my life in like many ways, more than one. Like, not just financially, just everything, just like the way I'm playing and just my whole attitude on life and just everything. It's different, and I truly believe I have a lot more confidence when I play now, and that having confidence when you play, it really helps you. It makes you feel good, makes you confident, makes you not scared to play pots and whatnot. And today we started with 18, and people just started getting knocked out like left and right, kind of quick, and I was like actually surprised. And then I got a gift. I had aces versus ace king all in preflop. That was a nice gift for me. And then I kind of made like a Chino-esque type move when I had a flush draw and an ace hit the turn, and I won a nice pot there. And then after that, next thing I know, just people were like, like Nam said, just let nature take its course. You don't always have to win every pot, and that's exactly what happened. Nature took its course, and people were getting knocked out, and here we are.
Awesome. Now, I asked this to Steve Sung. Now, you guys are all friends, 3 of you, at the final table. What's that going to be like? How's that going to play out in the final table?
Don't tell Steve Sung this. No, seriously, it's like, I always say I don't like playing with my friends because I just, it's my buddies. You don't want to beat your friends, you want to beat other people, and it's just
right.
but I also understand it is poker, it is a game, it is a sport that we play, and there can only be one winner for this final table. So it's like, come tomorrow, if he beats me, God bless him, good for you, nice hand, I'm happy for you. I'm not, if I win, then I'm sure he's happy for me, and it goes both ways. So I would really like to see like a 1-2-3 finish between us 3. That would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
In seat 2, we've got Amnon Philippi, a well-known professional. Have you played with him many times before?
I've played with Amnon a ton, and every time we get all in, he shows me aces. I don't know how that's possible, but it's at the same time he's still raising a lot of hands, so he can definitely mix it up. But usually, whenever he goes to the showdown, he almost always has a pretty big hand. He's made it deep in a lot of things. He's played high-stakes poker. He's a great player all around.
Well, he's 4th in chips. He's got 2.7 million. What's he going to have to do to try and overcome the big stacks?
Well, the big stacks aren't that much bigger than him. They only have 2 times his chips, so 1 double up and he is equal with the big stacks. And with the blinds the way they are, they only have 30 big blinds or so. So all he has to do is make a good hand and get in with it, and he's really good at that. So he'll be able to double up and hopefully not get unlucky.
All right, Amnon, how's your chip set going into the final table?
I have 2.7 million. I think I'm somewhere in the bottom 2 or 3, but at this point it doesn't matter because anything can happen and we're playing such big pots. I feel comfortable, I feel good. I've been playing solid poker. Just letting everybody else kill each other and try to stay out of the way and just pick up blinds and antes and small pots here and there. That's been my game plan all along. We spoke about this yesterday, and you told me, people are going to act different, with TV tables and stuff. And I said I really wasn't going to be concerned with that kind of stuff, and I got here without being concerned with that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Now, we also just talked to Steve and to Chino. You guys are obviously good friends.
Yeah.
Secretly, they told me what they're going to do. So how's that going to play out for you at the final table with people that you've played with for so long and are really friendly with?
Well, Steve and Chino seem to like to get involved in hands. So what I'm going to try to do is let them bust the other guys. And then, we can go to war with each other. It won't be a big deal. there's 3 other players besides us 3, and I'm just gonna, Chino loves to get involved and play pots with people, and Steve, does the same also, and they both have a lot of chips to do that with. So I'm just gonna try to sit in the cut and move up spots, and then pick my fights when I see them available to pick.
All right, in seat 3 is Hoyt Corkins. He's obviously been here before as well. He's got 2.3 million in chips. He is a short stack, but he's not that short, right?
Again, like we said earlier, he still has about 30 big blinds, and that's plenty of chips, and Hoyt loves to go all in, it seems. And with 30 big blinds, that's a perfect stack for whenever someone raises, you can just re-raise all in. And you're usually giving them really bad odds to call, so you can create tons of fold equity for yourself. And I'm sure Hoyt's going to do exactly that. And if Hoyt gets chips, he's very dangerous because he can actually play really well post-flop, as not going all in pre-flop. And he has a strong game in general.
How are you sitting?
Well, I'm in last place. I got 2.3 million, so I'm like a million and 0.4 away from average, but I feel okay. I think that, I can do some damage with that and, hopefully, get up and make a high finish.
Now, you are no stranger to these WPT final tables, and you've also got other pros at the table who are good friends. Have you played with these young guys before? Talking about Chino and Amnon and Steve?
Oh yes, I've played with those guys before. Yeah, they're all good players.
Now they're also aggressive, and you're so aggressive. So how's that gonna come together at the final table?
Well, somebody's got to give, and so it made me play a little bit more conservative, to be honest with you. But yeah, you do have to get in there and mix it up, and they know how to press the action, and they make very good bets.
All right, in seat 4 is Steve Sung. He's got 5.9 million, and he is the chip leader. He's very aggressive. So what's it going to take for someone who comes into the WPT televised final table as a chip leader? Are you kind of pushing the action, or do you kind of want to see those short stacks go out?
I personally, whenever I get there, I kind of try to feel out the table because people play a lot differently whenever you're 10 to 7 handed than whenever that you are 6 to heads up. So I think Steve should probably chill, hang back for a little bit, and not do anything too aggressive, because I know Steve can play really aggressive, but I also know that he can play really nitty at times too. So he has all different range, different speeds in his game, and I think he'll probably make the right adjustments that he needs to, and to take advantage of the people that are playing too tight, and he'll probably tighten up against people that are, he'll let people bluff them if he thinks that they're bluffing too much.
Okay, now we talked to Amnon, Chino, and Steve, who are all really good friends. We, of course, asked them if that's going to affect the way that they play at the table. When you get to the televised final table, if you have a good friend, is that any harder to play your best game against them?
You kind of have to put that aside because, you're playing for a lot of money, and if you're actually friends, you're not going to take anything personal. You're not going to take any offense if they bust you. But at the same time, you really don't want to bust your friends, so...
You gotta find that mix.
You have to find a little mix in there to where they're not going to hate you, but at the same time, you're still going to win all the money.
Yeah, what's funny with these 3 is that when we ask them, it almost seems like they want to bust them and show them a complete bluff or something like that and get under their skin.
Yeah, they're different kind of poker playing friends. Some friends, they get the most pleasure out of beating each other. So if that's the way these guys are, it could be a huge bluff fest at the final table.
Pretty fast, right?
This is the quickest it's ever been at Bellagio, ever. It's like 3 lunatics at the final table, so
Were you sweating the whole way?
No, I came in probably the last 20 minutes, and it all was good from there.
Now I see that you guys have a lot of friends at the final table. How is this going to play out?
I'm going to bust him. I'm going to win this tournament. That's all I care about. they're going down. Everyone's going down.
Money on?
I think Steve's definitely the favorite with his stack. I mean, not just because he's chip leader, but he knows what he has to do with
Okay, so you've got the chip lead. You're not going to take it easy on your friends.
He's not going to be playing any Namely poker. I know that.
Man.
What is Namely poker anyway?
That's what I've been playing for the past 3 days.
Going crazy.
Oh man, it was a grind, literally grind.
Namely poker is just that's the word, grind.
It's grind. It's grind, grind.
So now you're going to be at the televised final table with a bunch of your friends. Is there going to be any bluffing and showing? I mean, this is
I can't say
all
it
about
on the
you.
thing.
Well, we won't tell. They might see it tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
He's going to do him dirty.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow.
They're going to go 1, 2, 3 tomorrow. They really are.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
They
guarantee
really
you
are.
that. Bet money on me. You win a lot of money.
I'm sure the
3-1.
I'm sure the high stakes full tilt guys are gonna be really happy after tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you got jokes, huh? You got jokes.
In seat 5 is Justin Young. He's got 2.4 million in chips. This guy's been playing poker for a long time. He's got like 600,000 in lifetime tournament wins, but he's never made a WPT televised final table. But you've gotten a chance to play with him. What's your take on him?
I've played with him a few times and online a few times. He's a pretty good online player. And I think he just plays like a pretty standard but really good, like, I guess you'd call it what an online player's game is, where he raises a decent amount in late position and he re-raises a decent amount. And he's not scared to put the pressure on. And whenever you play that style, you're either going to have a lot of like close finishes or a lot of wins. So I bet if you look at his thing, you'll see a lot of 10th to 11th place finishes, but also a few wins here and there. So I think he's not going to be scared to gamble if he needs to. And I think he's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the aggressive stacks, which will either bust him out early or win him the tournament. So it's going to be one or the other.
That'll be interesting to see. All right, Justin, tell me about your chip stack going into the final table. How are you sitting?
I have about 2.4 million, which is about 40 big blinds right now, and I think I'm 5th in chip position right now, ahead of Hoyt right now.
Okay, how was your tournament leading up? Were you ever a chip lead, or were you ever low? What's going on?
Yeah, actually in the first 2 hours I was down to 10,000. I got set over set at Aces vs Kings real early on, so I was down to 10,000.
How did you not lose all your chips there?
Well, luckily the guy had lost a big pot like just prior to that one, so he had only had 30K in front of him, so it was lucky for me. But by day 2, I was chip leader actually, going into day 3, so I had over $500,000 going into day 3. And had a bad day 3, but survived, and then day 4 is real good for me. Came in today 3rd in chips, and leaving 5th in chips, so I'm pretty happy.
Okay, now a question we like to ask people is, what do you think about the table dynamic? Where you're sitting, your position in comparison to the other players?
Honestly, I don't really like it too much. I got Evan and Chino on my left, and they're probably two big stacks and probably the hardest blinds to steal out of the 6 of us. So there's not going to be really any free money out there for me.
Right.
So I'm just going to try to play solid, pick my spots, probably 3-bet a little more than I usually do, and take down some good pots without any action.
Well, I see a drink in hand. Are you celebrating making this awesome televised final table?
Of course, yeah. It's going to be a celebrating night tonight. I don't have to even be conscious until 12 o'clock tomorrow, so we'll have fun tonight.
Rounding out the table in seat 6 is Evan McNiff. He's got 4.8 million in chips. You said you got to play with him before in one of the preliminary tournaments, is that right?
Yeah, I've actually played with Evan a few times, and he's, again, another online player that plays a pretty, tight, aggressive game, but at the same time, he's definitely capable of mixing it up, and that's pretty much it. He plays a pretty good post-flop, and he's definitely not scared to get in when he thinks he has the best of it.
Okay, what's your chip stack going in?
4,800,000 or 805,000.
Okay, so that's about average, right? You're in
I'm second
in the middle there?
I'm second in chips. 6 left. There's like 22 million in play, so I'm doing pretty well. And it's 30K, 60K blind, so I have plenty of chips.
Okay, tell me about the table dynamic with the players who have made it to the final 6. Do you know where you're sitting?
Yeah, the same. It's the same seat.
Okay.
So I'm seat 9.
How do you feel about your position in comparison to the other players?
Chino's to my left. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of impartial with this final table. Like I don't really care where I got sat actually. No, I have a pretty good position because I have a tight guy too to my left, and I have position on some of the better players. So I don't know. I like my table position.
Like you said, this is your first time here. Do you think that the lights and the cameras are going to affect you at all?
No.
All right, John. So that is our final 6. Do you have any predictions on who you think is going to take this one down?
Just looking at the final table, there are really no soft spots at all, so anyone has a chance to win if they get good cards. Just looking at the numbers and the way I know people play, I think Steve Sung has a pretty good seat, just because I think Chino's going to raise a lot, and Hoyt's going to raise a lot, and Amnon's probably going to raise a lot, so he has a pretty good position on the table. And Justin and Evan are probably going to be fairly tight in their blinds, so he's going to be able to pick up chips in those spots as well. So I think Steve definitely has the best seat, and he also just happens to have the most amount of chips. So Steve's my pick to win, but anyone could definitely win this final table.
All right. Alright, I was going to pick Steve, but now I guess I might have to go with Chino just because he is on a really good run. Every time I talk to him, he seems super confident. He's going with his reads, and it seems to be working out for him. So, since you already picked Steve, I'm going to go with Chino. We'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And that's it for our final table preview show of the WPT 5 Diamond World Poker Classic. Be sure you stay tuned in to cardplayer.com, and our tournament reporting team will be giving you guys all the live updates. I'm Christy Arnett for Card Player TV.